Okay. Trade recap, or at least a missed trade. This morning, this is the 5 minute. What did price do? We had Asia high, Asia low, previous day low, and this was the overnight high. Moreover, what we did in this move down yesterday, we created a 4-hour bearish balanced price range, and for me this is quite important. Why? Okay, so we created this gap, we in one candle broke down from it and now acting as resistance. So even though we do not have a change in the state yet on the 4 hour, we do have a breakdown from all-time high at a key level. So this is both applicable to NQ and ES. So I would say that bearish price action would be as probable as bullish price action, taking into account the FOMC is today. So I was thinking, if there is a setup that's interesting, most likely there could be happening something overnight. So as you can see already, you can see the move. However, let's just redo it. For some reason it just, so I was watching price here and I got an alert. So London Open was here, and of course before I do anything, I want to see price hit either Asia low or high. Price was moving up, so I was thinking, okay, probably it's Asia high. My alerts went, it tagged overnight high, and I was watching, okay, it could happen that price is going to run into this fair value gap, tag this H1 level, but ES was lagging. So I was thinking, okay, so taking into account that price action has been really bullish, I don't want to go off gaps on the lower time frame. I only want to take them on the more higher time frame. So I was thinking, so the 4 minute and the 3 minute gave more or less the same gaps. And actually the 5 minute, if you look at it, it's a combined one. So actually we have a gap here, like this, a 5 minute gap, because there is also volume imbalance, and this is the actual, let's say, the relevant gap. So I was watching, okay, I want to see a breakdown with conviction to consider a short going to Asia. So I was watching, let's put this on the 5 minute. I was watching, and I could see that price on ES was actually not showing any strength. So I marked out that level for ES as well, and then I just compare the two charts. So you know, the upper side of the gap is not even most important, it's about the downside for the gap. So I do take into account the following thing. So if there is a breakdown with conviction, that's a good thing, but I do want to take into account the 50% level, because this still is a beautiful liquidity to run. So I do want to take into account the 50% and the 62% as a first possible target. Also because we have a change in the state, a bullish change in the state over here. So I don't want to, let's say, take it at all costs. I was watching, we actually dropped below but closed inside in the upper side of the gap, and ES was actually showing bearish price action. So the next candle was already far below, so I put my short position in, stop at the high, and then targeting 2R, I think, up to this candle. No, actually went less, 1.7, because I was thinking, okay, I might get a wick here and I will squeeze out whatever I can. But actually price was just too bearish already that it hit my target. I think before it didn't even come back. Yeah, so we got this. I'm not going to chase it, that's not my style, but I saw, okay, when we get such a move down, then there is no the likelihood of it reversing and then dropping for me was a bit lower probability. So the moment we dropped and we hit this level, I closed my short because I thought whenever price is coming back from going this deep, then most likely it's going to run up again. So this trade was for me invalidated. The setup is valid because this is just crawling up. It creates a lot of liquidity. You can do a perfect curve here. And what I noticed is that this price action is more or less the same as what happened yesterday. So if you follow this flow, like crawling up, creating a top. Yesterday it was at all-time high, so there was not really a top to be hit, like, or liquidity to be hit, and then it dropped off. I can show you here. For me, that was the same price action as what happened here, like crawling up, creating a top, and then just returning back to origin. Also here I could not get any proper entry on the lower time frame, but I did see, and I noticed and noted down in my journal as well, there was a 15-minute gap and the breakdown was beautiful. Breakdown close below, retest, and then sell off. But because it's a 15-minute trade, you need to take into account, okay, this can take a while to play out, which it did in the end. But that's just for me. So the 5-minute happened and I had a phone call planned at 4:30, so I had to get in that call. And to be honest, I was a bit pissed because, and that's something I need to clear out before I go into to the US session, which will start in 10 minutes. I was a bit pissed because I marked out this already long time ago, this 4-hour level, because a couple of things come together here. So we have this 4-hour gap, 4-hour level. It's the 50% of the entire move, of this entire move from here. This entire move, the 50% is here. So I thought, okay, this is ideal liquidity to take a long, not a huge reversal long, but at least a quick run up. So what did price do? Price just insta dropped to this level, and I will go to the 1 minute because actually on the 1 minute you could see that it hit Asia low and previous day low, and then you have a lot of big gaps. And this is then of course trying to pick the right gap, which is quite difficult. So you have a large 2-minute gap, you have a large 3-minute gap, so there's nothing really to go off of. Even on the 30 seconds, if you would be very trigger happy, you could take this and then go absolutely bust. But if price goes so deep and it gets so close to this 4-hour level, please note that this 4-hour level was already taken by ES by this Asia low and the previous day low. So for ES it's not relevant. So we take it. It just chopped about. Oh, the 1 second. Let's not do that. And now we get a perfect tap into this 4-hour level. And I was watching and I was thinking, okay, so yes, this 1 minute has a level, I think, which coincides with the 2 minute. So we have a 2-minute level. But seeing the speed of the reaction, the 30 seconds actually gave a really nice setup because you have this small up candle. So you could trade the 2 minute and then just trade the potential retest, or just the close above and then target it to the highs. But my strategy is to trade the retest. So that means that I could end missing trades, but the 30 seconds, this combined gap actually gave a really nice intermediate relative to the 1 minute. So we had a close above and then it just did not a retest. So I think I would have missed this trade, But this is perfect setup. Key liquidity level, we have a sweep of that earlier low, which actually just adds up. There's no SMT on the higher time frame and the lower time frame, but it's not really required when price is moving so beautifully. So the moment you have this close above, you can wait for the retest or maybe have an entry a little bit higher. And you can target this one for sure. This is your TP and whatever comes after. And what I normally do is I then check for gaps. So this is a large 1 minute gap, and you could see that you have a large 3 minute gap as well. This one was already piercing into that 3 minute gap, so then you can see, oh yeah, this is already 4 minutes. And so you only have large gaps here. So this is something to take into account, that it might run up, but you have to be quick on the gun to execute and close. So normally what I would do in such a trade, again, I think I would have missed it just by a few points if I would be in the trade. So this will give you a 1.6, which I would take off my first, okay, let's just say I was in the trade. I would take off my first contracts here and then just be following price as it goes to see how much it can run up. Because this is an inefficient move, and if things work out the way they should with such a reaction, it should move really quick to the upside and then maybe correct a little bit. So price just, again, the 1 second, interesting. So as you can see, price just went up immediately. So this is beautiful, right? Like 2 minutes and you have your 1.6 in. And then it starts a bit chopping, and then it did a final move. And I think after that it was just chopping about. And this is something I wrote down. So when you are in the PM session of US, price normally reacts fast and then starts chopping. So there's not really much follow-up. It happens in the AM session, but this slower follow-up PA also applies to London. So you have a quick reaction. So good buying power, but then afterwards, this is just, for me, I don't want to be in the trade anymore. This is what I love. Like this first move, maybe this small correction, because what I saw is that this is actually a proper setup. I think it was on the 1 minute, because you have a breaker here. If you trade the breaker, then this will give you a perfect entry. Then you enter here, but you do have to take into account that your stop is quite wide, unless you, I don't know, target, take another level. I don't know how to, then you can put your stop here. But then you have to be patient, because the best you can get from this, let's just see. If you do the breaker and you put your stop here, then you might get a 1R, not even. Okay, so your 1R, you need to get it from here, which in my opinion then is lower probability. So the more aggressive, the better the better I think the setup is, but you have to be quick on the gun to deal with it. So yeah, quick reaction. So that's about the 2 elements of price. You want to reach a certain price level, but you also ideally want to reach it within a certain amount of time. So I rather take 1.6 in 2 minutes and maybe scale out the rest 3 minutes later. But this is just hassle to have it in the trade, in my opinion. It's not worth it for me, especially also not when I'm trading Apex, so you have live drawdown. So all the downside you incur after printing the high with your contract still open just costs. And I don't like that. But overall, this is just a beautiful setup. Unfortunately, I missed it. And even if I would have gotten it, I'm not sure if I would have gotten the retest on that gap. And I think the 2 minute also didn't get retested, because this is your level. Yeah, so it did not get anywhere close near a retest. but then you would have to just enter on the go. But you would have a really good change in the state retest. But depends all, of course, on your strategy, and this one would not be mine. So overall, good PA, good setup, but not favorable for my model, I think.